Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another episode of Deducation, the Teachers Talking Terror podcast, where myself, Mike,
and myself, Courtney,
are back to cover another movie. This one, surprisingly, is 23 years old. I remember when it came out. We are going to be covering Robert Zemeckis' What Lies Beneath, starring Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer, Miranda Otto, and James Remar, and other people that you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's the only one. And I couldn't even remember where I had seen him from. I'm like, he looks so familiar. So I had to get on IMDb and I was like, oh yeah, he's Han Solo.
Yeah, he's Han Solo. He's Indiana.
I'm like, that's so embarrassing.
He's Indiana Jones.
Well, I haven't seen any of those.
But you've at least heard of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but I've not seen him. Like, I don't
you
know
would
what
enjoy
he looks
it.
like.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun. They're really good. Michelle Pfeiffer? Never heard of Michelle Pfeiffer? Really? All right.
I don't think so. She didn't look familiar.
Fair enough. So, but yeah, What Lies Beneath? This is one of those rare horror films with big name stars and a big name director, and so it's kind of fun. It's a balancing act because I feel like a lot of directors you're either a horror director or you're not. Like the ones that swim around in the horror pond, like a Wes Craven, a John Carpenter, an Eli Roth, Ari Aster, those kind of guys. They know what they do and they do it well. Ty West is another one that like everything they make is kind of horror based, and they might dabble outside of that. But it is rare to sometimes see a director that's not known as a horror director take a stab at it. And it doesn't happen very often. And it's with mixed results when it does. So we're going to dive into this one to see what kind of results Robert Zemeckis delivered with What Lies Beneath. We meet Claire and Norman. The most boring names you could possibly come up with. Claire and Norman Spencer. She's a stay-at-home former cellist. He is a very accomplished scientist and professor. They're kind of a strained relationship. Yeah. It's not a bad relationship. It just feels strained.
Yeah, it's like they love each other, but they've just kind of fallen out of love.
Yeah,
kind of is how I saw it.
Well, and I think there might be a little resentment, as I know. As I said, she's a former cellist, so there's a reason why she doesn't play cello anymore. He's so tied up in his work and research that he doesn't have a lot of time for her, and it really comes to a head when they take her daughter to college.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite figure out up until right now, reading the notes, in the Wikipedia entries on it. Like, I assumed that Caitlin was both of their kid.
Yeah, I guess I did too.
Yeah. But anyway, the daughter's off to college. They're empty nesters now. And really, the basis for the movie stems with Claire is now bored.
Yeah.
My husband's gone, my daughter's gone. I have a lot of time at home. They've got new neighbors, Mary and Warren, who also have a very strained relationship, but theirs is a little more volatile and loud.
Yeah.
And again, Claire's just kind of bored. And Mary goes, like, I won't say missing.
Yeah, but she's not around for a few days.
No, and so Mary or Claire does what anyone would do. Her husband killed her.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they were fighting, and
they were.
Mary said that she was like scared of him. So
she saw Warren like packing a bag into the trunk of the car that looked human body shaped. And so Claire's like, oh, he's killed her.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation for this. Murder. And then the movie goes a little supernatural.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like we're going to do this kind of didn't-he murder mystery from the neighbor. And then suddenly it's like, ooh, let's throw a ghost in the mix.
Yeah.
So Claire is down by the lake and she thinks she sees a woman's body in the lake. There's like little weird stuff happening around the house. Like she feels a presence that's not there. There's like pictures getting knocked over. One of them in particular is an article about Norman.
Yeah, and it just like shattered
It
the
fell, and it
glass
fell
that the
hard.
frame it was in and stuff, and which led her to find a like a lockbox key inside.
Yeah, it's like in like a floor vent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't even remember what she did with that key.
Well, she fished it out and really didn't do anything yet. She just
I
knew
was
like
gonna
why,
say,
because
yeah.
of course the key does come back.
Yeah.
But it was like what's this key
Yes.
go to? I'll just tuck this away for a future mystery.
Mhm. Yeah. Some other things that she like found happening, like her bathtub was filled up and she still sees this reflection of the woman in the water.
I hate it when my bathtub fills up on its own.
Yeah, I know.
I hate it even more that I don't have a bathtub.
So she starts going to see a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And Norman kind of is like shrugging all of this off because I think he's a little, I don't want to say like annoyed, but also kind of just like, I'm not playing these games. Like whatever's wrong with you, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's got this dark kind of plays with the spirit's friend Jody.
Yeah.
And so they hold a seance in the bathroom where she saw the lady.
As you do.
Yeah, it was a flop.
Yeah. As they are.
Yeah. And she then found later on some writing on the bathroom mirror after the bathtub was filled up again. And
gotta get the plumber in there.
Yeah. And it said, you know. And am I skipping? Did she already talk to her husband about this woman?
No, not yet.
No. And so
because she doesn't know anything yet, because and like the next scene, like her computer types out the initials MEF. So like right now she doesn't have a lead on anything other than I've seen, I just keep seeing this presence in the water, and it's a bunch of weird stuff right now.
Yes.
But she does do some research on this MEF, and this is where she discovers that she thinks she's being haunted by Mary's ghost, the neighbor.
Yeah.
She thinks that's the M, because Mary Fewer is her name. So she is convinced Mary's dead. Her spirit is speaking to me. That's the only explanation for MEF. And so she confronts Warren. Like she and Norman go to an upscale dinner party.
Yeah.
And she just calls Warren out right there. Like, makes a huge scene. You killed her. I know it. You murdered her. And then Warren's like, Mary, come here, please. Yeah. Mary's like, oh, hey, what's up, husband?
Yeah. Like, here I am.
Yeah, so Norman is even more like if like smacking yourself meme was a thing, then he would be doing that. Like he's so embarrassed by his wife.
Yeah.
Because she is acting real nutty. Like
yeah, she is.
She explains that I've been missing. I went to Providence to stay with my mom after Warren and I got in a fight. Like, sorry, and so that kind of wraps up the Mary missing intro. But Claire's still bored.
Yeah.
That article that you'd mentioned earlier where it fell off the wall and shattered, she gets to looking at that again. And on the back of that article, she finds a story about a missing woman named Madison Elizabeth Frank, MEF.
Yes.
And can't leave well enough alone.
No, she can't. And this is just kind of where she goes downhill.
Yeah.
Even more. Because she is on the hunt for Madison's mother, who she finds, and she cut off some of Madison's.
Yeah. The mom has her mom has kept a lock of her daughter's hair.
Which, I'm not a parent, so like whatever. And if you keep Ella's hair, Lucas's hair, like to each your own, I guess. But like, that's just weird.
Does my wife? I don't know. If
That's
she does,
something
fine.
we,
I don't
yeah.
care.
Like, it's just weird to me, though. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
What are you gonna do with it?
exactly.
It's even
Well,
weirder when they grow up and you like now you're like decluttering
yeah.
your home and you're like,
Yeah.
here's a box of your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like,
here you go.
throw those out, please.
Yeah, please. But I don't know what we would do with it, but
Yeah.
Claire's gonna perform a ritual.
Yeah, she steals this lock of hair.
Yes.
Like, this mother has a missing daughter and has been missing for a while. And she, like, her bedroom is still a shrine to her existence. She has a lock of hair. And Claire's like, yoink, like, just
Yeah.
snatch it. Like,
Let me have that.
yeah. She also sees a photo with a necklace. Like, there's a lot of very mild foreshadowing.
Yes.
Like, they really pay a lot of emphasis on things like, oh, here's a key. I wonder if that's going to come back later.
Yeah.
Here's a necklace. I wonder if that's going to come back later.
Yeah. So she is trying to like conjure Madison, bring her back. She's now like possessed by her. She's got this hair on her.
It worked.
Yeah. And she very aggressively gets Norman going, and she's talking like Madison, and doing just acting like her, everything, until she drops it. Then she's no longer Madison.
Yeah, snaps out of it, and now she's like, but she has the memories of Madison that were now plugged into her head.
Yes, because Madison is a former student of Norman's. With whom he had an affair with.
While he was married to Claire. Like,
yes.
Whether you could say that Madison's possession unlocked this memory or just whatever, but it's something that Claire had happened during their marriage, and Claire just kind of repressed it.
Yeah.
Is that something you think you could do?
No.
I don't think I would be able to either. Like, if my wife cheated on me and we rekindled, I don't think I would just be like, no, she's never cheated on me. It's totally fine.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, oh, you're not home at 5:35 and practice is over at 5:30. Like, I wouldn't be able to keep it.
Well, Claire, though, Claire can do it. Just represses that memory.
So she's off remembering this, I guess. She's mad, goes and stays with her friend Jody, and updates Jody, and Jody's like, oh yeah, like I saw her arguing with Norman years ago or a year ago.
Yeah. How convenient. Like, you go and you talk to one person, and that one person is like, yeah, I spotted him arguing with that girl.
Like, if they're such good friends to perform a seance together, why would you not tell?
Exactly. Yes. I saw your husband with a much younger woman in a cafe, and I knew you were married, but I didn't think it was my place.
I didn't say anything.
Like, I'm not a woman, but I thought there was a code.
Yeah.
Isn't there some kind of code where...
Yes, I think so anyways.
Yeah, that you guys are like, yeah, I saw your husband up to no good. You need to know.
Yeah. Not with Jody, though.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
I don't either.
I do not.
I don't either.
I've got some friends that do, but I've just never, I guess, been encountered. Like, I've never encountered one, so that's where I'm just like.
Do you think that would change your mind, or are you adamantly against the existence of ghosts? And so even if there was some spooky encounter, you'd chalk it up to something reality based, or do you really think
I would probably chalk it up to something reality based?
I think
just
I would
because
too.
I'm just like, a ghost? No.
Yeah. I would need like a full-on poltergeist style.
Yeah.
Like, I would need to walk out of my room and see that thing, not like, did I see something in the shadows?
Yeah.
No, like, I would need to see it fully in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need it to be like, I know you're not on TikTok, but TikTok is like, careful, this video is really scary. And then there's like a dog that walks across with like a white sheet, and it's a ghost. And it's like, that's the kind of ghost I need to see. Like, it needs to be
I would need to. Yeah, I don't need any of this like ghost hunters. Like, I heard a noise in the other room kind of thing. I need to be like, I'm sitting in, even if I'm sitting here at my desk and like my chapstick fell over, or, like the light, like I would still be like, well, that's weird. No, I need something convincing.
Right. Yes.
Not a picture falling off the wall because
exactly because that could
I
just
hung
happen.
those. Yeah, I hung those pictures. They're gonna fall eventually.
Yeah, most of my pictures in my house are hung with push pins, so yeah, they probably will fall.
Yeah, they're gonna fall at some point. So Claire comes home after her stay with Jody, which basically Jody, like we mentioned, was like, oh yeah, I saw him cheating. Well, not really cheating, but
yeah.
So she comes home. She comes home and finds Norman unconscious in the bathtub.
Yes.
He comes to and was like, oh no, it was an accident. I was not attempting suicide. Total accident.
Because there was like a space heater or something with him.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
in there.
It was totally set up to look like a suicide attempt.
Yes.
But no. I'm not. It was an accident. So he comes clean. He really does. And he has a very convincing story.
Yeah.
I came home and Madison was here. We'd already ended it. She couldn't handle it. She came here very unstable. She is dead, but I didn't kill her. Like she had killed herself. And that's and it sounded legit. Like I could see that, older, successful man, younger, impressionable female. Maybe she kind of flew off the deep end, didn't know how to handle rejection, and it's like, it was like, okay, that story makes a little more sense than you murdered her.
Yeah, exactly.
So Claire needs to get away because she's still dealing with all this news that she still has Madison's hair. And then she goes out onto the dock and like the hair pulls her into the lake.
Yeah.
Like Norman sees her standing out at the end of the dock.
Yeah, and she just goes in.
Yeah, it like pulls her into the lake, drags her down to the bottom of the lake. And there's like this jewelry box buried in the sand or dirt, mud or whatever. And it's got a latch on it that matches Madison's necklace. Norman dives in after her because again he saw her go in, so he dives in after her, pulls her up. She's still very suspicious, but they burn the lock of hair, whatever. I don't know how it burned so well if it was already just in the water, but
yeah,
I've never tried to. It had to stink too. Old burnt hair.
Didn't he light himself on fire too when he burned it? Or is this another movie I was watching?
That's a different movie.
I think that was another movie I was watching. Never mind.
Yeah, he did not catch himself on fire.
I was like, because it's kind of cheesy to put in there, but it was kind of a dumb TV series I was watching, so never mind.
Yeah, that's fair. Claire calls him out for the episode a year earlier, and Norman claims he doesn't know anything about that cafe. I don't know what you're talking about. So she does what she does, and she goes and visits the cafe. Like,
yeah,
things get real convenient here. She goes to the cafe, turns around, looks across the street, happens to go window shopping, happens to see the exact same necklace still on sale a year later.
Yeah.
The jewelry box too, where she's like, huh, I'm a private detective now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to get back into the lake. I'm going to get that jewelry box out. I just remembered that key that I found in the first act of this movie. I wonder if they work.
Yep. She's putting things together.
Yeah.
And when she opens
yeah, go ahead. I got ahead of myself a few minutes ago, but no, go ahead.
Okay. And when she opens up this jewelry box that she finds, lo and behold, the necklace that she saw Madison wearing in a photo is in it.
Exactly. This is where she confronts Norman.
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself.
This is where she's like, hey. But she did talk to him earlier about...
Yeah, and he denied killing her. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But this is where she confronts him and he admits, yes, we had an affair. I came home. She had kind of lost it and had killed
Yeah.
herself in our
Yeah.
home. I didn't know what to do, so I put her back in her car and I pushed her car into the lake.
Yeah. And
As
it was like,
why wouldn't you? Because there's no possible way that this learned
yeah.
researcher man, no, it's going to show up in the autopsy that she did it herself, dude.
Yeah.
If she did it herself.
Yeah. I mean, and
Yeah.
he's smart enough to know that.
Yeah. So, and he's not smart enough to think that Claire's going to just take this, though.
Yeah.
So she's like, you need to call the police and tell him. And he agrees. Okay, I'll call the police. No speakerphone. I just totally trust you now, Norman, to make this phone call. And he has a conversation, and it sounds very honest and very open.
Yeah.
And Claire goes back to do kind of a, last call. This is all before your time. Like before
this is
caller
when you
ID
could,
on
like,
your cell phones.
Yeah, we could like star 67 it or whatever.
Yeah, star 69. Star 67 still hides your number when you call someone. And as far as I know, it still works. Star 69 is where you can check to see who just, the callback.
Okay.
And she does this and realizes that his last dial call was 411, not 911.
But, another little foreshadowing, the beginnings in his lab, they were working on something that would like paralyze the rats, but it keeps their brain going.
Yes,
and
thankfully.
So, yeah.
Thankfully, he's been researching this.
She, just so conveniently, the minute that she figures out 411 was dialed, he paralyzes her with the halothane.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah. Like I killed Madison. She was gonna out me, so I killed her.
Yep. And because this is the year 2000, and every horror movie still has somebody like the main villain reveals their entire motive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now that you're paralyzed, I will tell you everything.
Everything. And so puts her in the bathtub. He starts filling it up, and because he's just like, I'm. Just like his suicide was staged earlier, like he's going to stage hers. And as he goes to take off her necklace, this is gross. He takes Madison's necklace off of Claire's neck, and her face like goes into Madison's corpse.
Yeah. And it's like, as he's backing up, like, we see her face as he's backing away, and like you said, it's her like her rotted corpse.
And I mean, he's smart because he's already called his friends, like, hey, we got into a fight, like, I'm gonna be out, will you check on her tomorrow? Like, I'm gone. Right. So he's covering his tracks. But unfortunately, the corpse face has scared him, and he jerks back, which, I mean, knocks him unconscious.
Yeah, he smashes his head off the sink. Oh, he did too, man.
Yeah.
Watching some of that stuff hurts. Like, to watch somebody, even though it's not real, it's still like, man, that looks painful.
And then thankfully, like that, the stuff doesn't last long enough. She becomes unparalyzed, gets to shut off the bathtub and unclog the drain that was shut, and then she escapes
it's just through pure like force of will.
He follows her, attacks her, and it's just kind of like, I feel like a whirlwind from here, because at this point, like, they're fighting in his truck, and then they drive off into the lake, which
because
now
she escapes.
Yeah.
Like you said, gets in the truck while he's still supposedly unconscious on the floor. Yes. But then he like sneaks into the back of the truck while she's, while she's pulling away. Yeah. So they're, like you said, they're fighting in the truck. I just wanted to throw it because it wasn't as if they were in the truck together. He snuck up on her.
Yeah. And then, Madison's car is hit by the truck. It's, removed. And her body, like,
comes drifting up.
Yeah, and grabs Norman
Yeah.
somehow, whatever.
Why not?
And Claire
Movies.
escapes, and Norman
Yep.
drowns.
And
And
then, yeah.
yeah,
And
like
that's it.
that.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then Madison's grave was visited later on, and like at the end credits,
Yeah.
Claire goes and visits Madison's grave and
And
leaves her a rose.
as the movie fades out, we see one last impression of a face on the screen.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
it.
It's just movies. Like, that's why
Yeah,
this stuff works. Like,
yeah,
of course there's one ghost. It's just
yep,
one, and it's Madison. Um and girl code for these two. Screw
yeah,
Jody. I think
yeah.
Madison's really
Seriously,
Claire's best friend.
seriously, because she saved her.
Yeah, where was Jody? Jody was keeping this affair secret and was nowhere to be found when she needed help. Madison came from the dead
Yeah,
to save Claire's life.
yeah, that's much
That's a
better
real
friend.
friend.
Yep.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. Madison. So, well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is What Lies Beneath.
Yes.
This movie made a ton of money.
Yeah,
Almost
I mean,
triple its budget back.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's fine. Like you said, it's not life-changing by any means, but it's certainly not a bad film.
Right.
Quality actors, a solid director. Were you scared by it? No, a couple jump scares maybe, but
yeah, I mean, when the face came up in the bathtub, that did kind of scare me a little bit.
And I remember the big jump scene in this movie was when she was kind of seducing him when she was possessed by Madison, and when she leans in over him and like her face just changes. That was one like in the trailer, because you got to remember in the year 2000 special effects still weren't great, and so for that people were like, "Whoa, did you see that?" And it was kind of a cool scene. But yeah, this movie came out in July, which is kind of odd for a movie that feels like it was fall.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't feel like a summer blockbuster kind of movie.
Right.
But it made a ton of money. $100 million budget, made almost $300 million. It did well. It did really well in the box office. Let's see if it does as well in the classroom.
Yeah.
What kind of grade are you giving it?
I'm giving it a B+, just because like there wasn't a lot of gory things or anything. Right. And I feel like it was a little cliche, like, oh, the professor slept with one of the students. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that happens a lot, but it probably happens more than you think. And unfortunately, yeah, but it was still good.
Yeah, so, I'm going to give it a B. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a B. Solid movie. Like I said, it's not the worst. It's long. Like, it's a little over 2 hours long. I think it could have been tightened up for sure. But not a bad way to kill 2 hours. Like I said, you're not gonna lose any sleep over this movie, but you're not gonna feel like you wasted your time either. So It was above average for a horror film. Yeah. But you're right, it missed a lot of the elements that really work for me. Gore and just whatever. But overall, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yes. So. Okay, well, man, we really did get, like, running through October really did alter our approach to these shows. Yeah. Looking at it, I'm like, 28 minutes? Normally we're clocking in. Yeah, like, we're going to be wrapping up here in shortly, a little over a half hour. That's okay. Like, I really, I think in and out is better for our listeners anyway. Yeah. So, but let's see. This week was my choice. Actually, my wife's choice. She's like, ooh, that's what. So, what are we watching next week? It's your choice.
Okay. This is a 1990 film, and it was brought up earlier.
1990. Because we had talked at lunch.
Yes, and part of me is like, yes, because it's none of the Wes Craven ones that we talked about.
Okay, because I'm sitting there trying to think, like, what did we talk about? Can I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, Candyman.
No.
Okay, all right, because we did talk about several. I'm trying to think which one was from 1990. Which one am I forgetting? It's too early for The Ring. It's not a Wes Craven film, and it is one we talked about earlier. I don't know.
What Jacob's Ladder.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jacob's
And I
Ladder.
think that was probably like the most briefest one that I brought up. Like I was
Yeah,
just
you'd
saying, you know,
mentioned,
like these
and
are the ones that
yeah,
my mom mentioned. But yeah, Jacob's Ladder, I think I have decided on.
okay,
I don't know. It kind of like when I looked it up, it kind of reminds me of like a document, like not like a document, but just kind of following this. Yeah. So
documentary. You mean?
yeah,
Okay,
documentary.
I'm like
So
a
I don't know.
document. It's
It's
like
a
a PDF.
document.
This
Yeah,
movie reminds me of a Word document.
I love it.
Um, yeah,
So yeah, but yeah,
I've
so
seen this
that's
movie once. I remember it being really good. I remember it being really memorable, and I remember there's just a few disturbing scenes that were like
okay.
just imagery wise,
Yeah,
not like hard to watch, but like ooh,
right.
um, yeah, that's good with me. Jacob's
All
Ladder from
right.
1990. Okay, sorry, Tim Robbins. Uh, Otherwise, typically known for comedy, Tim Robbins. So he was in Bull Durham and um, nothing. No, not Nothing But Trouble. What's that one called? Shawshank Redemption is this big one. Um, Shawshank Redemption is what he's best known for. Nothing to Lose. That's what I was going to say. Nothing But Trouble. Nothing to Lose. All movies you never heard of. So
That's
that's
right.
okay. You never heard of Shawshank Redemption?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it.
Oh, it is on the Internet Movie Database. It is ranked the number one movie of all time by the raters on the
Isn't
people
it
that just go.
sad?
No, no,
No.
no.
Oh.
It's not a comedy by any means, but
Uh,
it's uplifting.
yeah. Nope.
It's
I've
really good,
never
really
seen
good.
it.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. It doesn't fit the parameters of our show, um, even though it is based on a Stephen King story.
Hmm.
But really good movie. But we're not going to watch that Tim Robbins movie. We're going to watch Jacob's Ladder, the
Yeah.
psychological horror film from 1990. Good pick. Good pick. That one cut it through a curveball because
Yeah,
I
I
didn't remember.
know.
I was like, what did we talk about? Yeah, this will feel like a brand new movie to me. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I like the cast too. Ving Rhames, Eric LaSalle, Jason Alexander, Danny Aiello. More people you don't know.
Yep.
Macaulay Culkin.
I know him.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
this would
know
be
Jason
fun.
Alexander.
Yeah, it's from Seinfeld.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Elizabeth Pena. So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, social media wise, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Because we're a year strong and you still haven't got a TikTok figured out.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. I don't.
I don't even have it. So, but yeah,
I
we
like
will be back
watching
next.
them.
That's what they're there for. We'll be back next week to cover Jacob's Ladder for another episode of Deducation. I'm Mike.
And I'm Courtney.
And we'll see you guys in a week.
Bye.